always like
That's the middle.
But wild card wise, they're always like out of it
That doesn't mean there's 5-6 teams always worse than you still.
Yeah, again, the point is the playoffs.
Plus the NL team.
The point is the playoffs.
The point is that you're mediocre and you're not going anywhere if you're staying like this.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR podcast.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so smash that subscribe button. Also, comment your thoughts down below. And just get into it.
Just like the video. Yeah, man, the football gods helped us.
But we also got some baseball gods as well.
We got, I'm going to say sports god.
Yeah.
Sports god, because we got everything. NFL, soccer, NHL, NBA, MLB, UFC, boxing. You name it, we got it. All right. So we got to start with, we were going to start off with the NFL, but we got some breaking news literally about 20 to 30 minutes ago in baseball world, because it is a trade deadline season. You want to announce the trade?
Yeah. So first of all, should we talk Ohtani first or should we talk the trade first? Because obviously they're connected.
True. Yeah, Ohtani. Ohtani's a star. We got to give Ohtani this.
Yeah, let's start with Ohtani just
so
because.
Last time, you saw our podcast titles were like, are we going to talk trade Ohtani? Are we trading Ohtani? And we both came to the conclusion, yeah, they should trade Ohtani. Well, the Angels are like, nah, fuck you guys. We ain't trading Ohtani. They're chasing a playoff spot. And to be fair, they've been doing better after the All-Star break.
They're in the hunt.
So they're buyers, which we'll get into the trade in a second. And they will be holding on to Ohtani, and he might leave as a free agent. And obviously, I still think they should have traded him because I don't know. Maybe they go on a run, like I said, and they still got Mike Trout coming back, and this acquisition which we're gonna announce soon will help them out. But the reason why I understood why they're gonna hold on to him is just ownership business. That's it. He draws money. So for till end of September? Beginning of October, the regular season ends, whether they make the playoffs or not, everybody's going to come watch Ohtani play.
Yeah,
buy his
obviously,
jerseys.
yeah. But the thing is this, how much are you really affecting? Because are you going to throw away your prospects just to make a little bit more money for 3 months and potentially not even make the playoffs?
Ownership wants money, man. At the end of the day, is what the dollar brings. What?
And they might be screwing themselves even more then.
Well, as a team-wise, maybe, but like if they couldn't convince Ohtani to stay, then
it's a different story. That's a completely different story. But
the reason why they're taking that risk is because they don't want to be the team to be known as they traded Ohtani, but we don't know. Ohtani hasn't. There's no reports Ohtani saying I ain't coming back, right? Like we've heard reports of Kachuk saying I ain't coming back to Calgary. We've heard reports of Aaron Rodgers saying I want to go to the Jets. We haven't heard that from Ohtani. Not Ohtani himself, but
Ohtani can't speak English.
No, but I'm saying like reports like Jeff Passan, John Morosi, John Heyman, and all of these guys, Ken Rosenthal, right? So I get it in that sense. I still think they should have traded him because are they realistically going to jump the Jays? This big?
No, probably. Maybe.
Maybe it's a big series coming up between the two teams, but are they going to jump the Jays, the Astros, the Mariners are ahead of them, or they're neck and neck? The Yankees, the Reds.
Neck and neck. They're realistically 4 games off?
But the Yankees,
they're 4 games off. They're neck and neck.
At the end of the day, Yankees, Red Sox, Jays, Astros.
Well, we already know it's competitive.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
and with this, without obviously.
So you're saying that you're fine with it?
Huh?
You're fine with not trading them?
I mean, I'm not fine with not trading him, but the move they made to help him out is a good move that will actually give him a chance.
We've been teasing enough. What's the move?
All right, so then probably after Ohtani, well, now he's off the board, but this was probably the best pitcher available.
Yeah.
And the Angels got Lucas Giolito, Ronaldo Lopez from the White Sox for 2 prospects, ranking in at number 2 and number 3 in their system.
And whose system? The
Angel system.
Okay, well, so we don't know how good
their
system is.
Two of their top 5 prospects are gone.
Okay.
For Lucas Giolito, who's having a resurgence career, ERA under 4.
Do you know his contract status at the top of your head or no?
Free agent.
So that's a steep price.
It's a rental.
That's a steep price.
Unless he could sign, yeah.
So maybe. Yeah, so I get your point of the. No, finish off the trade, sorry.
And then Ronaldo Lopez is also scheduled to hit free agency as well. And his season overall hasn't been great because he has a 4.29 ERA as a bullpen guy.
Yeah.
But his last 8 starts, he didn't allow a run in any of them, and he's gone one mix of 1 to 2 innings in
So
each
yeah,
of the starts.
they're doing all this. This reminds me of the Jose Barrios trade the Jays made.
Yeah,
And they'd still miss the playoffs. And obviously other circumstances, right, came into factor of that with the whole COVID rules and stuff. But you're still getting Mike Trout back. And it's not like he was having a bad year. He was still having an MVP caliber year if it wasn't for Ohtani. Yeah, for me, it's a steep price. Can you convince Ohtani to stay? It's probably going to take 500, 600 million for sure. Obviously, Trout has said I'm in his year. If they make the playoffs, it'll help them for sure. I want this team to make the playoffs. I want to see Ohtani and Trout in the playoffs. They deserve to have the playoffs, right? Currently, as the standings go, as of this second at 9:52 p.m. on a Wednesday night, the wild card is what matters.
they're 4.5 behind around there.
They're 4 behind
Yeah,
the Jays, 5 behind the Astros, 9 behind the Rays.
so they're 4 behind.
But they're also 1.5 and then 2.5 behind the other two teams ahead of them. So there's still a lot of praying to do, right?
There's a lot, but that's the AL.
And then you also have Cleveland behind you, and you have Seattle. I think
obviously, but it's the
Tigers,
AL.
White Sox, Royals, and Athletics.
We already knew this was gonna happen.
But no,
already.
but I'm just saying, like
for every
it's
team
a
in the AL.
it's a massive risk, right? So
Yeah, but like it's the AL. You gotta either compete or be dog shit. You can't be in the middle, right?
and the Angels have always been dog shit,
and
even when
they haven't even been complete dog shit because like have they really been like the number 1, number 2 overall pick these last few years? No, because they're mediocre. They're not dog shit. They're mediocre.
If you have Ohtani and Trout, you're dog shit.
No, okay, I know, but like in the standings wise, all right. Like,
but even
they're in the
standings-
middle. They're not at the bottom.
They're always
They're
third
not
and
at the
fourth,
top.
but they're always like
That's the middle.
But wild card wise, they're always like out of it
That doesn't mean there's 5-6 teams always worse than you still.
Yeah, again,
in the league.
the point is
And
the playoffs.
plus the NL team.
The point is the playoffs.
The point is that you're mediocre and you're not going anywhere if you're staying like this. It's either you freaking make a trade, which they did
Which
right
they
now,
did.
and it's gonna help them because I've been preaching the Angels needed pitching.
Yeah.
They got a guy who's been a Cy Young winner a few years ago. Obviously, wasn't living up to the same the next couple of years, but this year he's refound his form.
Again.
All right. The Ronaldo Lopez has been on an 8-game stretch, right? You're saying the Angels are completely dog shit, and you're saying they're going down. They weren't.
I'm not saying they're
completely dog
going down. I'm just saying they're dog shit in general, just because they haven't.
No,
fucking done
yeah,
shit.
but that's the thing. You can't say that because if they were dog shit, they would have gotten more prospects. They would have gotten a number 1 overall pick.
No. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying in general, they're just dog shit. Nothing else to it.
Because
they haven't.
The situation is dog shit.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah,
So-
because you're mediocre.
Because even at this point of the year, they're like wild card. Even the wild card race, yeah, you said there are other teams behind them for sure, but they're not even. They're like the Canucks. They weren't even close to making the playoff spot like this year. So not this year. I'm talking like Canucks this year, right? In other years, the Angels are like that.
Yeah, but Canucks were mediocre if you're looking at the standings.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But in my
That's where
eyes,
you- that's where
mediocre
you
means
can't
you're
be.
dog shit. In those two,
That's
if you
where
have
you
those
can't
two,
be.
if you have those two players on your team, you can't be like if you are what's like the Detroit Tigers or if you're the now Seattle Mariners. Those ones, sure, but you have the 2 best players in the game, probably the best player in this
you
century.
don't have pitching. Baseball, you can't.
No,
carry
I'm
your
just saying in
club.
general.
Yeah.
That I'm not blaming those 2 guys. I'm blaming the Angels as an organization for that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm referring to as they're mediocre as dog shit. I don't care what anybody says. Because you have the 2 best players in the game, you should automatically, by on paper, should be in the playoffs if you build a proper team around them, right? It doesn't help when Anthony Rendon shits the bed after the Nationals, after he left the Nationals. So that doesn't help. Noah Syndergaard doesn't help when he shits the bed himself. So hopefully Giolito doesn't for them. And who knows if we see him this weekend. But yeah.
No, we're not probably. I think they already announced their pitchers for the J series on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, they did, yeah.
Ohtani's not pitching in Toronto.
Yeah.
He was supposed to originally,
Yeah,
but
they had a
now
doubleheader tomorrow.
They have a doubleheader. But no, I've been preaching pitching the whole time. Obviously, to me, Tyler Anderson has fallen off confirmed last year because he was really good with the Dodgers.
Are they just cursed at this point?
No, like, it's not like he's like, Alek Manoah shit. But
Yeah.
It's still like
the Anders are different, too.
yeah, I
though.
know, but it's kind of like he's over 4 ERA, but he hasn't been like the same guy last year who went like 10-1 in his first half of his season.
Yeah.
And then obviously you already have Ohtani's your ace, basically.
Yeah.
And then Lucas Giolito, who's like your co-ace, basically.
Yeah.
And then Giolito, the way he's playing this year, he's definitely playing like, his Cy Young form.
Yeah,
almost close to a sign.
I'm intrigued to see it, but like you mentioned some of the names. I mentioned some of the names. Obviously, I don't fully believe in curses, but this is like one of those cursed teams. You
and then the Ronaldo Lopez, yes, he has a 4 ERA, but like I mentioned,
he's bullpen, right?
He's bullpen. He's a 4, which is not good for a bullpen guy. But
yeah.
his last 8 starts, mixing in with 1 or 2 innings, each of them 0 earned. His last 8 appearances.
Yeah.
And then I think his last 10, he only had like 2 earned.
Yeah, it's still obviously a bit of a season. They need to play catch up and hope other teams lose. You know, they could do exactly what the Jays did in 2015, right? Difference is, again, this team has much higher standards.
Are they done making moves? Right?
Like, I don't think so.
They can't be.
They can't
like,
be.
If you're putting Ohtani on the line, you can't be done making moves.
If you're convincing Ohtani to stay here, that you're willing to do moves, go get a Justin Verlander. Go get one of these guys that might be available, which we'll go into the trade deadline talks around on Sunday or Monday's pod, right? We'll look more into who else is available.
Like, if you're trying to go all in, right?
You need to. 100% you need to.
I'm calling the Pirates for David Bednar because he's having an insane season, and I think I've seen a report that Pirates are making him available for another relief guy. Obviously, you could add another bat just because why not? But then, do they add another starting pitcher as well?
Maybe. Who knows?
Because realistically, other than I could trust Ohtani, and that's kind of like saying it iffy.
And you're hoping Giolito.
Because, you know, Ohtani, like, there's going to be games Ohtani struggles, obviously. And then Giolito, you just got to hope that he's been playing.
They just better hope to God. These guys better pray no injuries happen. That's all.
Yeah, generally.
Right? Like, we're assuming this is on all health, except Mike Trout is injured right now, and he should be back in a couple of weeks. But Ohtani, very quickly, there was also, before the news officially came out that he is no longer on the market, the teams, Diamondbacks and the Orioles, were the 2 teams that had called him. And yeah, so those are the 2 teams that did call him. Obviously, other teams were linked. We'll see, right? Ultimately, does he stay an Angel? We'll find out how the season ends. So stay tuned for that. Chicago side of things, clearly disappointing team.
Yeah,
in general,
they're just underperforming.
You know, Lance Lynn might be on the move. I think I saw a report that he could get traded to the Rays. Is close.
Well, Lance Lynn has been like.
I'm just saying he's close to. They're losing another pitcher, right?
Yeah, he's been pretty bad himself.
Tim Beckham, Jays were linked to him slightly.
Tim Beckham.
Sorry.
Tim Anderson.
Combined,
and he's been struggling himself.
They had a Beckham on their team too before.
He's been struggling himself. One name that's been pretty good and that could get traded was Eloy Jimenez. He's, I think, around that 280 average. And
I'm going to let you carry the baseball talk because I don't know some of these names here. But yeah.
Yeah, I heard on the radio, I think Ben Nicholson Smith.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, this guy will be a good target for the Blue Jays. But obviously, there might be... I think he's like, that's probably the one player he'll get from Chicago, the White Sox. Like, he'll rather have Eloy Jimenez over Tim Anderson.
Yeah, there are other names too, like Tommy Pham. You know, they're saying that we should go after Justin Verlander. Do you think Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander gets traded?
Man, it depends on Cohen, right? If it's like ownership
they're old. Thing. They have like 1 or 2 years on their deal.
Yeah, no, but if you think it's ownership thing, like
there are a team that's also going to go all out. They might trade
him.
him just so they can go all out on Ohtani and the free agency themselves. I will not be surprised.
I'm not surprised. That'll be maybe off-season thing.
I'm not surprised if he goes $700 million even for Ohtani. That's how he was, right? Like, he threw the money around like crazy. Couple of other trades.
Just one quick point to finish off the trade. The Angels traded their number 2 prospect in Edgar Cuero, and then he's a catcher, and a left-hander in Kai Bush. Cuero was a number 2 prospect, and his batting .346 with 3 home runs and 35 RBIs in Double-A. Bush is a second-round pick in a 2021 draft, and 1-3 record with a 5.88 ERA in Double-A.
So he's struggling there, but they better hope it works. If that's your number 2 and 3, and you do not make the playoffs and Ohtani walks, this team just took a different approach then, for sure. So, hey, I respect them for going all in. Let's see if it pays out, though. That's the question, right?
They're going to have to make like at least
a couple more moves.
3 more.
Other trades that went down. Noah Syndergaard, I mentioned him earlier. He got traded from the Dodgers to the Guardians for Ahmed Rosario. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Some of these names are probably prospects.
Ahmed Rosario is a good ad. Ahmed Rosario will help you.
The Dodgers at shortstop.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Marlins, Jorge Lopez. Twins get Dylan Floro,
Remember when Jorge Lopez was like
a big name last year.
a big name free agent?
Yeah.
I mean, not free agent, trade target. And then the Orioles still managed to
Still
trade him and then
do decent.
still do good.
Mariners got Trent Thornton from the Jays. You know, he was already out of a rotation. Or not rotation,
He wasn't
or
even in the
bullpen.
club. He wasn't even in the club.
Yeah, like he was DFA'd. Blue Jays get a minor leaguer in Mason McCoy. Other trades, Jose Castillo for cash. Kike Hernandez goes back to the Dodgers for Nick Robertson. Justin Hagenman, that's from the Red Sox. The Braves add Pierce Johnson from the Rockies. I don't know who's on the Rockies realistically at this point, other than Chris Bryant, who got injured again. Victor Vodnik and Tanner Gordon go the other way. Taylor Hearn to the Braves for cash. Blue Jay, the last trade is, because we already talked about Shintaro Fujinami. Genesis Cabrera already had a couple of starts with a couple of bullpen appearances. Pretty good appearances for minor league catcher Sammy Hernandez. So
Yeah.
those are some moves.
Just quick question for you.
Sure.
Can you name? Because off the top of my head, I could think of 5. Can you name 5 current players that are playing right now that played for Dodgers and Red Sox?
JD.
You got JD Martinez.
Mookie Betts.
You got Mookie Betts.
Justin Turner.
You got Justin Turner.
Now Kike.
Hernandez.
David Price.
I said currently playing.
Oh. Whose team is he on right now?
He's a Red Sox right now.
Starter?
Bullpen.
I'll probably one of them.
Kenley Jansen.
Oh yeah, I didn't know he was a Dodger.
Like there's a lot.
I didn't know he was a Dodger.
That's wild. Like I'm
Yeah.
just when I saw the Kike trade while watching, I was like, yo, there's a lot of people that like those teams made a lot of deals or something together, or ended up, just. Well, I think those guys all are directly, right? Because Mookie went directly from Red Sox to Dodgers, JD went from Red Sox to Dodgers, Kike Red Sox
this
to
year,
Dodgers.
yeah, like JD and Justin Turner
And then
literally signed
Kenley and
flip-flopped
Turner.
the signing.
Yeah, Kenley and Turner.
Kenley signed a
Dodgers
big
too.
deal with the Red Sox. I remember.
Yeah.
So you got that Ohtani gussa out of your chest now. You were animated there, buddy.
Yeah, it's just like I'm just saying that like they finally made a decision to do something, right? To like actually maybe help
It's
them out.
a risky ass decision still, but
Yeah, it is what it is. Like you're still in the hunt, right?
yeah.
It's a different story for like 7, 8 out, but like you're only 4 out. That's nothing.
yeah.
With like how amount of games left, like you still got 2 good months of baseball left.
The question is, Judge is back, right? So the Yankees offense should get better, and they're rumored to get Cody Bellinger, right? So there's names like that available. Red Sox are surprising. Maybe, I don't know if they're going to sell or not. I doubt it.
Yeah, the biggest, I think off the top
Where
of
is
my
Marcus
head,
Stroman going? Where is
Marcus Stroman.
all these guys going?
The biggest thing off the top of my head for like bullpen pitchers, because I'm pretty sure the Padres are now making Snell and Hader available. And so the biggest guy off the top of my head is going to be David Bednar from the Pirates.
Yeah.
And then
I won't be
obviously-
surprised if Snell gets traded. I won't be surprised if he gets traded, depending on what they're doing, right? So we'll worry about more on that next pod. But let's move on to the NFL, because like I said, we have a lot of news, and we got a lot of NFL news. But I mean a lot, because training camp has started. We already talked about the running backs, which we have updates on, and there's juicy details, especially involving the Colts.
Yeah, our team.
Still a couple of free agents left to sign. Yannick Ngakoue, one of the bigger ones, right?
We already mentioned the running backs.
Trey Turner, the guard.
Oh, yeah.
He's like one of the bigger names.
think- Is there
Jadeveon Clowney.
Dalton Risner, another guard, I believe.
Yeah, so there's I'll look it up in a second. So like I said, NFL training camp begin, but we're gonna start with the biggest news of the day, well, from yesterday. That is the Chargers have reset the market again, which is not surprising. Justin Herbert has extended his contract, record 5-year, $262.5 million extension. It's not surprising. This is one of those, you know how you mentioned Fred VanVleet. Like I said, every player deserves their contract because they negotiated it with their agent. However, does their play determine they deserve it? In that case, Fred's didn't.
Yeah,
Herbert's does, right? In my opinion, he's a top 5 QB, right? Arguably 4 or 5, however you want to put it. A couple of stats, or let me get the information of the deal first. There didn't reveal the terms fully. The report include up to $218.7 in guaranteed and contains a no trade clause. Herbert will earn $100 million in year 1. The deal, which will reportedly sign Herbert through the 2029 season, includes an average annual salary of $52.5 million, the highest in NFL history. Again, Deshaun Watson still owns the fully guaranteed deal, which is an anomaly.
So, like, what? You got Jalen Hurts,
$51 million.
who became the highest paid.
Yes.
Then it became Lamar Jackson, like, what, a few weeks later?
Yes.
And then it became...
Now Justin Herbert.
Now it's Justin Herbert.
Before that was Aaron Rodgers, which we have Aaron Rodgers news as well. But
And then now...
And then literally...
Next name
Joe Burrow.
is Joe Burrow.
Before we get into Joe Burrow, let me just give, Justin Herbert flowers. He's probably my favorite quarterback in the league, right? Outside of the Colts, obviously. The first thing I do want to say, Justin Herbert is now the third quarterback this offseason to sign a market resetting, like exactly what you said. We know that there's going to be a fourth one. You already alluded to Joe Burrow, which we'll get into in a second.
The Bengals have to.
So Justin Herbert's 5-year extension includes $133.7 million fully guaranteed, $193.7 million with injury guarantee, and springing to potentially $218.7 million guaranteed. So congratulations, Justin Herbert. Well deserved. I think there's another thing I need to pull up here. It was his stats. I don't know if I...
Well, like, it was like he has the most of all time in his first 3 seasons of, like, passing yards.
Yeah, it was that one. I guess,
like,
I don't know if I saved it.
I don't know if it was like... I know passing yards was one. I don't know about touchdown passes.
It was second, I believe, to
Yeah.
Dan Marino.
Yeah, Justin Herbert has himself, like, a insane start to his career.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it wasn't for a doctor fuck up in year 1, he wouldn't have played.
Yeah.
With the Tyrod Taylor's, I think, like, an ejection, like, punctured his lung when the doctor messed up.
I mean, it was still a matter of time who was going to come in.
And then
but
Herbert,
the fact that he had to come in like that, though,
Yeah.
like last second is even different. Like, it's not like he was
came in
prepared
against
to come
the Chiefs,
balled
week
the hell
2,
out.
balled out, and just never looked back from that point on.
Yeah.
Yes, he blew a lead, but that's not really his fault in the
Again,
playoffs.
I still blame that on Staley, but
That's
guess
Staley.
what? You've added Kellen Moore to him now.
Yeah,
right?
so you got an offensive mind.
As
there.
long as you don't have, if Eckler plays running the Zeke play, you're fine.
Oh yeah, Kellen Moore.
The questionable play calls at times, but
There are
otherwise elite.
questionable
So, that's news number one. And okay, so bring up Joe Burrow. There were reports that they were, saying who was going to go first. I guess obviously Herbert ended up going first. Obviously, in my eyes, Joe Burrow is probably number 2 in the league right now, especially because he beat Allen in the playoffs. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Burrow's the second best
All
quarterback in the
right.
league.
How long are you going to give before Burrow signs his contract? It's definitely before the season starts, right, at this point?
Get
it over with?
I'll give it 2 weeks max.
2 weeks max?
Yeah.
All right, we'll revisit that in 2 weeks. But yeah, like I agree with you. I think it's got to be soon at this point. Training camps already began, so
Just like, it just might be like, yo, give me $1 more than Herbert.
I think he'll get like what?
He's gonna be the highest paid.
What did Herbert get? 262?
Yeah.
I'll say he'll probably get 265.
Yeah, something like that.
Right? He probably deserves a little bit more because he has done shit in the playoffs. So
Yeah, he actually has a resume.
big factor, part of it. Herbert still needs to prove it a little bit more, but okay. So, and then last question before we move on to the Aaron Rodgers news, which is also massive. Trevor Lawrence next year, is he getting more than depending on what he does this year? Obviously, right?
In my opinion, if he like repeats what he does this year, he'll
probably reset it next year.
The Jaguars are gonna give it to him. I mean, they should, I guess, because they finally have a quarterback.
Yeah.
And forever, like, I don't even know who their last quarterback was. The last successful quarterback was Blake Bortles, and that was just because the Jaguars' defense was absolutely
you had
nuts.
like Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue, Jalen Ramsey,
Miles Jack,
yeah,
AJ Bouye, I think.
Yeah, AJ Bouye. He had safeties there too, I believe. So
yeah, Jaguars are definitely gonna pay up Lawrence. If you're talking about like level wise, even if Lawrence does a repeat year, I would still put Lawrence at number.
Yeah,
I'll put Lawrence. I'm putting Lawrence.
It depends on what he does. Is he gonna take the Jalen Hurts jump? Then it's like, oh, okay.
Okay, but I'm still putting Burrow ahead of him, no matter what he does this year.
Well, unless Burrow actually shits the bed, but that's you're right.
Even if like
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying, but at the end of the day, we saw Kyler Murray get paid. We saw Daniel Jones get paid.
Kyler Murray might get replaced this year as well.
So at the same time, doesn't matter who it is, right? T-Law, it might be the next up.
Yeah, no, like it's always going one up and up. So
Like Jalen Hurts got his after 1 year, and for me, I know he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. I'm not saying that, but it's still 1 year, right, where he was elite, MVP status elite. So the question is, can Jalen Hurts continue his contract without Shane Steichen, right? So that was a big factor. But moving on to Aaron Rodgers, how surprised were you by the news that he took a $35 million pay cut?
Like, this just shows that, like, he respects he respects the Jets more than the Packers.
2 years, $110 million was his original deal that they inherited from the trade.
Yeah.
To now 2 years, $75 million. Gives them a 2 year window to try to win it all. If I'm DeAndre Hopkins, he's gonna be like, why the fuck did I just sign right now? Because I'm sure the Jets would have paid him then if this was the case.
Yeah, who knows? But initial thoughts about the thing is, like, Rodgers to me initially just either was respected the Jets more than he did the Packers in the last couple of years of his Packers career, is because of obviously there was like Aaron Rodgers talk and drama those last 2 off seasons in his career where
that he's there for the money or whatever the case.
Yeah, all that stuff, and then Packers gave him the money eventually, but it was clear that he either going to retire within like a year or two or move on to a different team, which he did.
Yeah.
Also kind of shows me that like Aaron Rodgers is here to win.
Yeah. So either they make a big trade for someone, right? Hopefully the mic doesn't have up, but
that's fine.
Hope they might make a big trade for someone. I don't even know. What weakness do they have realistically at this point?
Not really. They got Quentin Williams locked up, which was massive for them.
Which helps now with the cap.
You got Sauce Gardner. You got
Breece Hall coming back. Garrett Wilson. Like you have an elite 1-2.
You had a decent draft as well. So you'll have a couple of young studs
maybe
with you as well.
Maybe just get a stud lineman, maybe. I don't know, but
genuinely, like off the top of my head, like I can't really think of one. Maybe they could add safety help, but then who was their safety? Do you know?
May left, so I don't know who they replaced him with.
Bro, I need to check that quickly.
But yeah, no,
because I'm pretty sure they replaced him pretty well.
Yeah, no. Like for me, it's just can the Jets put it together, right? Like we're not gonna disclose our early NFL predictions right now because we'll dedicate that in like August sometime, right? Like when we do our tier list or whatever. So stay tuned for that. But on our predictions on who's winning MVP, who's winning the division, making the playoffs, but. Yeah, like this Jets team is doing something, and this is what I wanted more players to be like, right? Like they're already rich anyways. Like why make more money and just make your team better, right? Like
genuinely. Like I mean, like look how Tom Brady could have easily had like 40 mil in his year 40.
His Fox deal is more than his contracts that he signed.
Like Tom Brady signed like 25 mil.
Even when he went to the Bucks, he didn't sign like for some record-breaking
like 25
deal.
million.
Yeah,
like around there. And then you had like Aaron Rodgers getting like freaking
50 million. He was the first 50 million.
Yeah.
Well, he caught it back now, which is good on him.
Yeah, I guess he's showing his
the darkness has helped him.
Yeah, like
the darkness, the ayahuasca, whatever else he does, it has helped him for sure. He's immunized, right? So, you still looking it up?
No, I'll give up. Whatever.
Okay,
we'll look at it properly after.
Move on to the next thing. Last quarterback news here. Bryce Young has a name starter. Not too big of a surprise.
Not surprising, no.
But Frank Reich. So let's see. I'm rooting for Frank Reich. So
and Bryce Young is kind of in a weak division, so could definitely do something.
Yeah. All right. So let's get an update on the running back market again. And last time we talked, we're not arguing, but we were like suggesting Saquon might not even report or sign the tag. Well, he signed a deal that's 1 year because they can't do any multi-year deals. Like I said, the franchise tag extension deadline was over. Worth $11 million. Now, you're going to be like, oh, okay, he signed a deal. Here's the breakdown. $10.1 million was the franchise tag, $0 incentives, right? What he agreed to, $10.1 million. Earnings, $2 million via signing bonus, $909K in incentives. Not even a mil, $909K. So the max he could earn is $11 mil. So he's not earning more than a mil even. It's $900K that he's could potentially earn this year. So this comes to the fact that, like I mentioned before, they're human. They need to feed their families, right? So I'm not surprised he signed the deal. A little bit, maybe, but not to the full extent. And
it's just probably a matter of fact that he just wants to be on the field, right? Like,
yeah, but
he saw what happened to Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
maybe he talked to Le'Veon Bell, because Le'Veon Bell did come out and say, like, I regret that decision, right? So
yeah,
the question, but even then, like, after all that talking, it was just $900K more in incentives, right?
I mean, at this point, like you said, like I said it before, you're fighting a losing battle right here if you're running back.
Yeah,
as simple as that, right? And then at what point, like, does it come to like your pride of just playing the game you love, and then over money, right? And it just showed that like Saquon has more pride right now.
Yeah, like if it was like 1 year, 15 mil, like just to say it was a 1 year matched with Christian McCaffrey, for example, at 16 mil, just 1 year though, right?
No, that wasn't happening.
No. I'm just
Max,
saying. I'm saying if that's what had happened, that would have made news for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Now he's on a prove it deal. He better stay healthy. All right. Otherwise, he's gonna prove the owners right again. So I wonder what Josh Jacobs was thinking, because he's probably like, I mean, what if they were planning holdout, right? They had those meetings held online. We don't know what happened in those Zoom meetings. So Saquon is just, I think, you know how he said, like, if he was going to sit out, it would have been like a fuck you, Giants, I have to root against you type of thing. Well, now he's obviously going to play, and he has to prove that I'm the reason why. And you have to pay me, 3 year, let's say $15 million, $14 million deal per year. Right, like he doesn't have to reset the market.
We don't even know what he wants.
Right, so like, we don't know what he's asking for.
Yeah.
If he's asking for 20 mil, then yeah, that's a lot.
That's a
but
lot.
if he's asking for if he's just asking for longevity, I would give it to him. Simple as that. Like you mentioned before, he's like, one of the reasons why.
It was like four years for like 16 million, same as McCaffrey, right? Then you could like see, then you could be like, okay, the owners could give that to him, especially for what he's done. For you guys, especially with the playoff run last year. And
shit could go down in the playoffs. In football, anything could happen in the playoffs.
Single elimination. That's
exactly. And then who knows what happens with body.
Single elimination playoffs are like the best. Like, obviously, I love watching single elimination stuff because of March Madness. You got
college football. You got World Cup.
Yeah. Knockout stages as well.
So
if you go from like Saquon to another guy in the news right now regarding us.
All right. So the Colts obviously have a stud running back they have to make a decision on. And I forgot who, I think it was Rappaport who tweeted out, all right, with Saquon signing, watch out for Johnathan Taylor, he could be holding out. And lo and behold, literally 20 minutes later, he was at Colts training camp. Didn't participate. He's on the players unperformed list, the PUP list.
The PUP list, yeah.
So
he did have
I don't know how much of that is his ankle injury or like whatever the case, whatever else he's going through. Now, I guess you're going to get our reaction, everybody watching at home, because we're Colts fans and our owner can sometimes be I don't know what word to use, like cuckoo in the head, I guess. That's the best way I could put it. Like, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say, right? What? Kind of, goes all out with saying, right? Like you mentioned last time with the whole Dan Schneider stuff, right? That one was good. But this time, let me just pull up his tweet.
Jim Irsay is the type of guy, expresses opinions, He doesn't hold anything with himself, even if it might, fuck up.
I think he deleted the tweet.
Even if he might, Jim Irsay is the type of guy that will let everything go, even if it might screw up a relationship between a player.
Yeah,
that kind of makes your offense relevant.
All right, so here we go. Jim Irsay. We have negotiated a CBA with the running backs. We have negotiated a CBA that took years of effort and hard work and compromise and good faith by both sides. To say now that a specific player category wants another negotiation after the fact is inappropriate. Some agents are selling bad faith. Now, here's one problem. Your fucking running back needs a contract, and you're saying this, right? MVP caliber running back, proved it that year. Last year was injured. And to clap back, his Johnathan Taylor's agent said bad faith is not paying your top offensive player, and which me and you could agree that he is our top offensive player when healthy. Player. Offensive.
Yeah, that's what I said. Best. That's what I said.
I heard defensive. That's why.
Yeah, I was like, he's our best offensive player. Only person you could probably put up next to him is Quentin Nelson.
But again, not a skills position.
And a skill position, yeah, he's clearly the best.
Yeah. So, your thoughts?
I mean, did Irsay say anything wrong? No. but the timing of when he said it,
especially with his own player.
with his own player on the kind of in the contract, then it's a different story. If Taylor was locked up, or like just like rookie year Taylor or something, it's a completely different story. Nothing taken out of, you can't really take it out of proportion, right? But Taylor is looking for a contract. He's been very vocal that like the running back treatment needs to be better.
Yeah,
he's been in the.
He's not the only one. Like Christian McCaffrey's out here saying, and this guy has a contract already.
Yeah, and
so.
Taylor's been in those Zoom meetings as well. So like
Yeah.
it's clearly, we clearly know what side Johnathan Taylor's on.
But the problem on this side with Johnathan Taylor is he doesn't have leverage because guess what? The franchise tag. Right? It will be there next year for him waiting. So
Yeah, like what's our situation? It's like either Pittman or Taylor, right? Who's gonna get paid? Who's getting franchise tag?
Pittman's getting the contract first.
Yeah, but like that was like when you're thinking about it before, like mid-season, you're like, okay, that might be a genuine conversation, right?
No,
But because clearly one of them was getting franchise tag and one of them getting a contract. That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And that's how it's gonna.
Listen,
that's how it's gonna
I won't
go.
be surprised if Taylor gets paid because the Colts, I have never seen them, at least
When we started watching properly.
football, that like as a diehard now, right? Casually, I don't know. As a diehard fan,
Colts never franchise tagged the guy.
that I remember. Like
They
he
paid-
could have easily franchise tagged Quentin Nelson, right? Easily.
Yeah,
they paid him,
they
made it the
paid
highest paid
Nelson.
guard, right? So.
No, now second highest.
But
because
I'm just saying at the
Atlanta
time,
no.
like they reset the market with Shaq Leonard. They reset the market with
Nelson.
Andrew Luck. Yeah, like those are the three that come to the top of my head right now. Even like they paid Braden Smith. They paid the O-line. They were the highest paid O-line for a reason, right?
Yeah,
So
they paid Kelly. They paid Braden Smith. They paid
Costanzo at the time.
Costanzo.
Lewinsky.
Did they like extend Buckner when they traded for him?
Yes.
Yeah, so they
Instantly.
did that as well. Grover Stewart.
So that happened mid-year, right? So, yeah. Irsay, like you're not saying anything wrong, but the
timing-
emotions are high right now, and
timing-
especially
The timing was fucked.
yeah, like even if JT was locked up, it would have been the same thing. Like you're still, what's the word? Like the timing's off. You're still fucking with someone's emotions who was being vocal about this, anyways, whether he been paid or not, right? So, check out our other two podcasts. We talk about the running back. Then we're not going to go into too much detail, but long story short, Saquon, just stay healthy. JT, stay healthy. It sucks because like the running back position, as we mentioned before, we get it. Like I love Johnathan Taylor, player and person, based on what we have seen from the media side of things, right? So, but then at the same time,
like,
you understand the position and
also-
how shit it is. The
Also,
situation.
as fans of Colts, we finally get to see Johnathan Taylor play with an
Mobile
electric running back. Quarterback potentially.
So, yeah, I hope he gets it done. I don't know how much it will be if we could get extended, but it could go into the season for all we know. So who knows? Maybe Johnathan Taylor comes out and balls out and gives him no choice, right? So that's what Zeke Elliott did. That's what Derrick Henry did, right?
At this point, like that's what you gotta do, right? Like if Taylor and like Saquon are leading in rushing, right? Main reasons why their teams make the playoffs. Then it's definitely a conversation if they don't get paid next year.
Yeah. All right.
But right now, at this moment, it's just a losing battle right now.
Exactly. So let's just move on. Other signings. You want to open up whoever was available in free agency while I bring up the other signings.
Yeah.
First off, Giants. Sticking with the Giants, they struck a deal with their left tackle Andrew Thomas, 5 years, $117.5 million extension, $67 million of it being guaranteed. 23.5 is the second highest among offensive linemen. 23.5, is that after Trent Williams?
Yeah, Trent Williams should be the highest paid,
I thought
right?
the Bakhtiari is up there too.
Yeah, Bakhtiari's up there.
But okay, so this contract's average annual value of 23.5 is the second highest among offensive
I
linemen.
think Trent is first, right?
Yeah. The 24-year-old is coming off a breakout campaign, right? So keep in mind, he went 4th overall. He wasn't supposed to be the 4th overall lineman. It was supposed to be Tristan Wirfs. He struggled.
Yeah,
he
right.
struggled initially in his rookie year,
yeah,
but then he killed it, right? Giants are doing something because they drafted Evan Neal, and he was okay as well, but you have a potential. Your corners locked up, and the
Your tackles.
Your tackles. I want to say your corners of the old line, but
That
your
makes
tackles.
no sense at all.
I might just say your old line corners because they are your corners.
No, they're not.
But
they're tackles. It's a clear position.
I know, but okay.
If you're saying corners, right, that's a defensive position.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, their tackles locked down if Evan Neal pans out, right? They have Glowinski. I don't know how good he did last year, to be honest with you, but they were decent enough if they were in the playoffs. So
yeah, I guess he got the job done. Done.
Congratulations, Andrew Thomas. Let's go next up. Trayvon Diggs strikes a deal. Here's a cornerback. I'll say it properly now. A cornerback, 5-year, $97 million extension.
Bro, you're just disrespecting the game by saying that.
What?
Corners of the old line.
They are the edge on the edge. I guess
that's edge, right?
Yeah,
that's not
I messed up. I should have meant to say edge, but the Dallas Cowboys signed star cornerback Trayvon Diggs to a contract extension, 5 years, $97 million. The defense can potentially I can't talk right now. Potentially earn up to $104 million in incentives. Contract has $42.3 million in guaranteed money. Includes a 21.25 signing bonus. So, he has 19.4 annual average. Now ranks 5th among cornerbacks. Green Bay Packers star still tops it. Green Bay Packers star Jair Alexander still tops it at 21.
Yeah, I mean,
little surprising he hasn't got more, just because
how like
market resets always happen.
Yeah, but no,
they need to still pay Micah Parsons eventually. So there's that.
I mean, that's like your future of the defense.
They obviously have Stephon Gilmore there as well added. But
that'll be big help for Trayvon as well.
We'll get to the free agents in a second. Let me just finish off the rest of this here. Something else happened. I know that Marcus Peters to the Raiders for a 1-year deal. Jimmy Graham is back.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham is back.
21. He goes back to the Saints for another 1-year deal. Cole Kmet extension must needed for you get it.
Yeah, good. That's
had a decent year, solid year last year.
That was Fields' best weapon.
Tight end, right? Now you pair him with DJ Moore.
Yeah, so
4-year, $50 million extension there. The Texans O lineman Titus Howard reached an extension, 3 years, $56 million. So you got him and Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
On that O line. Let me just finish up some other things here. Trayvon, Saquon, Jimmy. Brock Purdy is back at training camp, fully cleared. Nick Bosa does not return to camp.
He's already cleared?
Yeah.
Bro, I thought he was coming.
Brock Purdy his elbow gets cleared to practice. So he gets cleared to practice at training camp.
He could start week 1?
Well, he's cleared to practice, so we'll see. It could be Shaq Leonard situation right now, so who knows?
Because he got injured in the goddamn conference final.
Yeah, and he did surgery on the bicep.
The conference championship.
Or the elbow. And a couple of players that did not report, big time names. Nick Bosa doesn't report to camp.
Wait, okay.
Because he's looking to get an extension.
He never got an extension yet?
He's trying to get a new deal.
Oh, okay.
And he should be one of the higher paid. Obviously.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be highest paid.
Maybe no, he won't touch Aaron Donald yet, but
yeah, but he's
definitely in terms of edge rushers, maybe.
Yeah, right? Edge rushers, yeah.
Zach Martin, same situation.
Yeah, Zach Martin, I know that one.
Commanders signed Byron Pringle. Ravens release Andy Isabella. Eagles worked on N'Keal Henry. There's another. You want to hear another surprise name that hasn't reported?
Who?
And hasn't signed? Devon Witherspoon.
Wait, what?
He's the only rookie that hasn't signed a contract yet.
So he's not in training camp.
No, because he hasn't signed a contract.
So you can't.
That's why it was important for the Colts to get A-Rich and all these guys done.
Yeah, A-Rich got it done like a day
Juju
before.
Brents. So he's the only rookie that hasn't signed his contract yet, and he's trying to work out a proper deal still. I messaged my buddy who's a Seahawks fan. Shout out to you.
Bro, what the?
He's like, yeah, it sucks to look at this, but he's like, I think it should happen, right? He's like, I think he said the issue is more so on the signing bonus, maybe.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, they have to, right? It's a rookie. Like, how much leverage does a rookie really have?
So, what happens if he doesn't get signed? Just say it. Like, hypothetical scenario.
He just sits out.
He just sits out, right?
I think the Seahawks still have his rights.
Like, he have his rights, right? He can't really, go to another team.
I don't know if some Adam Fox shit could happen, but...
Yeah, remind him, Colts, go sign him up.
Yeah, but obviously, Devon Witherspoon, I saw that. That's the news I saw.
No, they'll figure it out. So, let's go remaining free agents.
Yeah, go for it.
Number 1 free agent I see on my list is Carson Wentz.
Okay, go with the players that will probably get signed? Like
Yeah.
that will actually play.
I think Kenny Galladay is done, so not him either. Byron Jones, 30 cornerback. Taylor Lewan, 32 left tackle. It's been injury issues, but he could be a help if he's healthy. Zeke, obviously. Zach Cunningham, linebacker, 28. Deion Jones, another linebacker.
You're saying their age, right? 28.
Yeah, like he's 28 years old.
Okay.
Deion Jones, same thing, linebacker, interior linebacker, 28 years old. Robert Quinn is up there in age, 33-year-old, but he could, on a 1-year deal, defensive end.
So
there's Yannick Ngakoue, obviously.
He should get a contract, hopefully.
Jadeveon Clowney.
He should probably get a contract.
There's Dalvin Cook, obviously, who's 27. Miles Jack, who's 27 as well.
Yeah, I don't mind getting Miles Jack for the Colts.
Leonard Fournette. Ben Jones, center for Tennessee, but he's also 34. Roger Saffold, who's 35, guard from Buffalo.
Generally prominent names or
yeah, I mean those are out of
so I anticipate these names.
Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
Didn't he get signed?
Melvin Ingram?
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon got signed.
No, but didn't Melvin Ingram get signed when he was on the Chiefs? He had a good year in the Chiefs. Then Chiefs cut him.
Not if he's on that list.
I thought someone picked him up.
Melvin Gordon got picked up.
Yeah, I know Melvin Gordon got picked up. He's a running back.
Melvin Ingram.
Bro, but yeah, honestly.
Free agent.
Oh, wow.
He was on Miami last year. After the Chiefs.
Okay, so that's what.
So you were talking about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else is like old. Like they used to be good in their days. Like Jason Pierre-Paul, who's also like 34 himself. But like nothing else other than ones that I mentioned that like, really stick out to me.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So obviously, this is the time for players like those to get picked up, right? It's training camp. Injuries could happen.
Yeah, injuries could happen for sure.
There's also extensions, right? Look up from we mentioned Johnathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., right? So did T. Higgins extend yet or no?
I don't think he did.
So look at a guy like him, right? So yeah, look out for those guys to sign extensions before the season
usually
starts.
like the usual names are here like is Jadeveon Clowney because like
he's always there now.
He's always there.
It's kind of like Dwight Howard, like journeyman every year, ever since the Rockets. But yeah, I think let me just double check. I think that's it for the NFL. Let me just quickly check Adam Schefter because this guy's randomly tweeting all the time too. So, yeah, the last thing was Aaron Rodgers.
There's nothing else. It's fine. I don't think we're gonna miss anything now.
Yeah, I don't care about the pop. Oh, apparently Zach Wilson is progressing well. He's injured though, but Zach Wilson's been progressing well, and then Rodgers has been a big help for that. So,
yeah,
which makes sense because 2 years time you still need a
you still
predecessor. Also, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love said he called him yesterday and told him, "Hey, just be yourself. You'll be fine." So,
the first training cap as QB1 for Jordan Love.
Yeah. So
I mean, does he take the Aaron Rodgers step? Because Aaron Rodgers had to sit behind Favre for like a couple of years.
That's the way it was going. So let's see if he could actually follow it up. Right.
Jordan Love did have a start. Obviously, didn't go great, but then again, you're also playing the Chiefs. So in that game, because that was the Aaron Rodgers vaccination status, all that drama with that. So we'll see what happens with Jordan Love as well.
All right. Then that's it for the NFL right now. Let's move on. You want to go NBA? You want to end off with soccer again? Because we have a lot more soccer to talk about.
Yeah, let's go NBA.
We'll end with a bang. So make sure you guys go to the end because we have some, soccer news that is there. We'll go. You want to go quick fire or you want to go NBA, NHL?
I'll go NBA first.
NBA. First up, we have one very big breaking news on a happy side, but we're going to start off with some sad news. Bronny James, son of LeBron James, I'll mention that as well because LeBron is well known. Bronny has committed to USC, University of Southern California, and unfortunately he got a cardiac arrest, collapsed on the court. However, he's in stable condition and is out of the ICU. So that's the good thing. But still pretty scary at a kid at 17, 18 years old aspiring to come to the NBA. Even before all that matters, before all that comes into thing, his health matters first. 17, 18-year-olds, I don't know, like we saw DeMar Hamlin, we saw Christian Eriksen, right? There's other unnamed people that we might not know, but there's out there that are just collapsing at a young age.
These guys are a young age, right? Like Eriksen, yeah, he's in his 30s, but like when you look at it in general, it's a young age, right?
Yeah, and you would think like these guys will be fine, they're fully healthy, right? We had like I said, in our journey pod, we mentioned a person that had passed away, similar situation, fully healthy guy, cardiac arrest, right? So, and unfortunately he had passed, but in Bronny's case, he's lucky, he's good. So hopefully he's able to get back on the court. Hopefully he's able to the dream is to play the NBA, play with his dad, right? That's the plan. You know, slowly, this kind of reminds me of the Sharif O'Neal situation. Now, Bronny is more talented than Sharif, but Sharif had open heart surgery too, right? So, so we'll see how that goes.
Just
get well soon.
Right now, we're just hoping for good recovery.
I'll see if I don't think there's any else update. I think the update was literally that he's out of the ICU.
Yeah, like now we're just like hoping for recovery, and hopefully that goes well, quick, and well executed recovery. And then hopefully...
Yeah, he's in stable condition.
Hopefully, up to him. If he still wants to play basketball, hopefully he has that choice.
Yeah.
Still, that's what you hope for. Like, DeMar Hamlin and Eriksen got that choice. They could play football and soccer again. So hopefully he has the same choice as well.
Okay, so tough transition, but let's move on though. Jaylon Brown, he was a topic of discussion when we first started the pod with the Boston Celtics. Is he going to sign an extension? And the answer to that question is yes. He has signed Supermax, everything that we said he was gonna sign.
And
it was weird because it was weird because he was saying like, I don't know if I'm happy in Boston, blah blah blah, right? But money talks.
But that Supermax is kind of like a super max.
Yeah, so
like a super duper super max.
So let's go to the details of the contract. Richest deal in NBA history at 5 years. $304 million. I'll break down the contract in a second because I have that saved on this.
Was it 305 million?
304.
304 million.
So the first $300 million player.
One thing I saw today was Shaq's total career earnings was like 292 million.
Inflation. That's not how you would say it. Inflation.
But like, that's just nuts in general. In 5 years, he's making $305 million.
I'm going to give you some fun facts for a second before that. Brown's new deal eclipses the previous record set by Jokic, who inked a 5-year, $270 million extension during 2022's offseason.
So that's like 25 mil more.
His contract breakdown is his first year of the contract, which starts at 24-25, is $52.4 million. Then it goes to $56.6 the year after, $60.7 the year after that, $64.9 the year after that, and $69.1 million in his final year, which ends at 28-29 season.
God damn it.
Again, this is more of the Fred side of things, not the Herbert side of things. Deserves the contract but can his play earn that contract? Essentially, is the question. And another thing before we actually break down how this fits for the Celtics. So the highest value contracts right now, like I said, he's at 304, 276.1 Jokic, 251 million. You want to take a guess?
No.
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal?
Yeah.
And then like
234.6 million is tied for 4 and 5. Yeah. That is Bradley Beal's teammate.
Booker?
Yeah. Okay, like I said, Durant. It's Booker.
Yeah.
And Karl Anthony Towns.
Wow, Towns is there.
So, yeah. And then the last thing regarding this.
Well, the Wizards really fucked up.
The last thing regarding this is Mike Conley's was the highest, had the record 7 years ago. You know how much that was?
What?
150 million. Literally half of this. That was the richest contract back then. And now we've hit the 300s. Yeah. Keep in mind, Mike Conley wasn't like the superstar or even like, he's an all-star caliber player, but wasn't really an all-star, right?
Yeah, but like also another thing, like I know we're going to get to, Jaylon Brown's going to have the richest contract in the NBA for 1 year until his teammate Jason Tatum gets extended.
Yeah, so it's like the Burrow situation, but in this case, a year later. And yeah, you're right. Jason Tatum should probably get like 310 million, whatever the case may be, right?
I mean, Jason Tatum is the better, clear number one guy, and obviously,
so Supermaxes get earned based on
accolades,
right? All NBA being a big one. Jaylon Brown
made one, yeah.
Is he got 2, I think. and obviously we know Tatum should make it next year as well. So let's talk about the Celtics. What does it do for them?
I mean, now that they're gonna be
100 million will be tied down to two players essentially.
They're gonna have 600 million.
Yeah, but like per year basis will be 50-50 each.
Yeah, so half your cap is gone on two players.
Now,
one player is clearly, your number one guy, right?
Earning that contract.
But Jaylon Brown, yes, he's not. Jaylon Brown's not winning you a title by himself. He's clearly a number 2 option in this league. So it's really going to depend on him.
So the good news is the first year, it's still his regular contract. And obviously Tatum's won't kick in for 2 years, right? If we're assuming Jason Tatum's not getting the contract, right?
Yeah.
So you have the Kristaps Porzingis 2-year extension on top of this player option. So you still have that, right? You traded away Marcus Smart. But the problem is after his contract kicks in and eventually Tatum's kick in, how are you going to fill the rest of the roster? Because KP is there, and I think Horford should be up by then. But
yeah,
how are you going to, again, there's a new CBA rules. I tried my best to understand this, but it hasn't. I haven't fully...
It is a lot of money going to,
two players.
But
the NBA cap goes up by a lot at times.
Yeah, that's the thing with the NBA, because, they have been, growing as a league compared to the...
eventually the Mike Conley contract did not look bad.
Yeah, right?
That original one that he signed then, right? So, this doesn't... the Celtics are still the Celtics to me.
Yeah,
they lose Marcus Smart. I get it. The heart and soul. They lose Grant Williams. They're still point guard short, in my opinion. But
yeah, but then you also added a good big man, which you also needed
stretch
as
big.
well, which is a stretch big as well. And with Kristaps, you could go with a big lineup and not really lack the 3-point shooting, but also Kristaps could play at the 5 as well.
They're a team that needs to go after a guy who facilitate.
Just facilitating, right?
And be smart with the ball, like Tyus Jones.
Don't turn over the ball.
Like Tyus Jones.
But Tyus Jones is probably unavailable now.
Who knows? Wizards might still trade him for value, right?
But then also you got... Genuinely, yeah, they're the same team, right? They got better in one position, but the trade-off is you got worse in the other.
The problem is, how are they going to fill out this roster eventually? Especially
but
for next year, they're fine. They should be a contender.
The pressure's on these next couple of years.
Yeah, there should be a contender next year.
I think they're fine for the next 2 years, but the pressure's on now because...
And we don't know how KP is going to perform there as well. He's performed well as a Knicks because he was the guy. Yeah. Even with the Wizards, he was the number 1 option more so. I know Beal was there. I don't know how, but we never heard Bradley Beal like how we once used to hear Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis teamed up with Luka. Look what happened. Didn't work out. Now he's teaming up as a 3rd option.
But that was also mainly injuries. He finally had a healthy year this year, so if he could stay...
But that's the other thing.
If he could stay healthy, I think he'll be fine.
Right, so I'm intrigued to see this Celtics team just because how is it going to work out? Again, the memes come out, Jaylon Brown. If he could dribble left and go left, he probably would have 400 million.
Right?
Right? The problem with these Supermaxes and max contracts, even 2nd and 3rd option players get it. Chris Middleton, Pascal Siakam. When he got it, he was a 2nd option because Kawhi was still technically was on when he earned the contract. Kawhi was still on the team. So, Chris Middleton, Jamal Murray, names like that, come essentially Bam Adebayo,
but
right? Tobias Harris, for example. So,
the NBA is also growing a lot, right? I won't be surprised, eventually, in 4 or 5 years, there will be Wembanyama will sign $100 million per year contract, right? So
yeah,
you don't know. NBA is one thing the NBA has over the other.
We're at 70 mil now.
Yeah, the one thing NBA has over the other leagues is they are genuinely growing.
They're growing. You're adding
compared to NFL
possible
and
revenue
NHL.
with the in-season tournaments now.
Yeah, so
that's the one that the NBA has done great. Even with David Stern, as much as I hated the fact that he vetoed that Kobe trade or Chris Paul trade to the Lakers, outside of that, he helped the game grow, right? And Adam Silver's doing a great job with it. Look how many international players we have. Look how many. We're excited for the Canada FIBA World Cup.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's not USA.
Yeah. So
obviously USA at his max, full roster.
Obviously,
they're still the best, but
arguably your top 3 players in the league are international. Arguably, Giannis.
At the moment right now, yeah.
Embiid and Jokic, right? So, yeah. congrats to Jaylon Brown. Like I said, you got the contract. He obviously there was some stuff that he came out. I just read on Twitter right before we hit record, saying that he wants to help out the community a lot with the money as well. So
Yeah, Jaylon Brown is like he is one of those.
He was a big vocal leader for the Black Lives Matter movement.
He is
too,
Jaylon Brown is like that type of dude.
So I have no like I said he deserved his money because he negotiated the contract. And I don't know how hard it is to say like, hey, give me the max or I'm leaving, but and Celtics had no choice. Like, who realistically could they have gone better than Jaylon Brown, unless they put him in a trade package, right?
Not really, nothing.
Like in the current
there's nothing
stage,
available.
like there's no one available right now
other
at this
than
moment.
like what Damian Lillard.
Yeah, and then Dame's being hard set on, and we're not gonna get into that talk. Like I'm not talking about the rumors until like we see a little bit more news on it, but like Dame is still fixated on the Heat, so you don't know what the case is, but we'll see. Celtics should still be the Celtics. They were still a decent team. No Marcus Smart, so let's see how that's the only intriguing part to see now in terms of guard play.
Yeah.
That's it for the NBA. Let's go on to the quick fire. Or do you want to go ahead and Joe?
Let's go quick fire.
Quick fire. Hey, we weren't kidding. We have shit to talk about, boys and girls. UFC big event this Saturday. It's for the BMF belt ever since Masvidal retired after he beat Diaz. Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier. It's two guys I love watching to fight. Two guys that are strikers, have potential wrestling ability. 5 rounds at it. Both guys, every fight I've seen them in, except for maybe against Oliveira, it's been like fight of the year candidacy, right? Like both of them were Michael Chandler fights were good.
It's genuine brawls.
Yeah, both of them with Michael Chandler was good. We saw the Fiziev fight, Fiziev, right? Fiziev versus Gaethje. I think his name is Fiziev.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I think it's that.
It was a sick fight.
Yeah.
I mean, sucks that we're freaking missing it because I decided to get Vancouver Canadians tickets. I think right before they announced it, like after.
Yeah.
So, hopefully.
I mean, the thing with this fight, like, I generally think it's gonna be. I don't think it's going to decision, right? I
will not be surprised
if I'm getting a brawl, right? Like, I think one.
It's 5 rounds. Keep in mind.
Yeah, I think one will win.
And here's the tough question: who's winning? And what?
Gaethje won the first fight, right?
Their fight was a while ago.
That was a long time ago, right?
I thought Poirier won, but let me just.
I don't know who won. I'm leaning towards Gaethje. I think it's gonna be. I think he'll finish a job in the 4th round, 3rd or 4th round, around there. Probably knockout because he doesn't really have a wrestling game as much compared to his striking ability.
The funny thing is he was a wrestler before.
Yeah, but
so he has the ability at the end of the day.
Yeah, he has the ability. Just he never really uses it. Because I remember that Oliveira fight, every time they're on the ground, Gaethje let him get up so he could like use his striking.
So he lost to Poirier back in 2018, which was UFC on Fox at the time.
Yeah.
TKO 4th round in his hometown in Glendale, Arizona. Why do fighters lose in their hometown a lot? We saw
I'm predicting an opposite then. I think Gaethje's gonna win in the 4th round.
So you're going 4th down, just stoppage?
Yeah, but then again, every time I predict anything for UFC, you like obviously the cameras are not on, but like me, you know that I'm wrong all the time.
I'm going Gaethje decision. I think I think both guys will it will be a sick fight, and they will give it their all. I think it might go all 5 rounds. I just feel like it's gonna be back and forth. Like I think it's gonna be like a 3-2 round either way. That's what I feel it's gonna be, like 3-2 rounds, right? Like no, I'm assuming all of them are 10-9.
I mean, I get it. As, like you're kind of thinking of like a Moreno Pantoja. Fight, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And like obviously in that fight, you thought, like I think that fight definitely would have been like over, whether it be submission or TKO in any of the earlier rounds, like for 3rd or 4th round. But that's what I'm believing. I think it's gonna be like that fight, except the ending is gonna be like a knockout.
Does winner get winner of Oliveira Makhachev one last time? Because Gaethje said he wants one more shot at the title and he's probably going to retire, which sucks because I love Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
But
it'll be Gaethje's 3rd shot on the title, I guess.
Because he was interim after beating Ferguson.
Yeah, and then
he lost to Khabib, beat Chandler, then got a title shot against Oliveira and lost.
Yeah.
So then it
was a title shot, right? Because if Oliveira won, it would have been...
It was still a title fight. It was just like Oliveira wouldn't have had the belt.
Yeah.
in which he didn't get the belt because he did win, and then Gaethje would have won because of the weight.
Yeah, because Gaethje made the weight.
So yeah, both 34 years old as well.
Yeah, I think, I mean, give him the chance. Why not? Right, like, who else is really?
It's Volk. That's it. And Volk might fight the other guy. Remember, the guy was calling him Ilya something. Yeah. So,
and Volk's gonna be in surgery himself. So,
yeah, so you might as well. I think. Yeah, like and at the end of the year, probably next year, most likely, because they're fighting like in October, I believe.
Yeah, it'll probably be next year. Yeah.
So okay, next up is also a big fight in UFC still, same card, co-main event. Jan Blachowicz fight newly moving up in weight in Alex Pereira. Obviously, the last time we saw Pereira was knocked out by Izzy. But before that, knocked out Izzy. So
before that, before that also won. So, I mean, Pereira has been in big fights here, so he's gonna be a little bit experienced as well. Jan Blachowicz, that light heavyweight division, is absolutely insane.
It's up for grabs everywhere.
It's genuinely up for grabs, right? Because
injuries left, right, and center.
Injuries. Jamal Hill looked dominant and got injured. He looked dominant against Glover Teixeira. Yuri got injured when he beat Glover. Jan never got his rematch when he lost to Glover. And then
Glover lost to Jamal.
Yuri got injured. Jamal Hill got injured. And then someone beat Jan. Right?
Yuri beat Jan, right? No,
like
Jan beat Izzy.
No, there's another guy.
So
right?
Jan beat Izzy, and then Glover beat Jan. Right? And then Glover lost to Yuri, and then Yuri got hurt. And then it was that Ankalev guy.
Yeah, that
was
dude
fighting Jan, and it went to a draw, I believe.
Yeah, it went to a draw. Yeah, that's
and
what I was trying
everybody
to
thought Ankalev won, and Jan was saying you could have it. And then in next month they went to Jamal Hill versus Glover in Brazil,
Jamal Hill won.
And Jamal Hill ended up winning. So it was all over the place. That it was intriguing, right? Like I didn't give a shit about the light heavyweight division as much. Like, I was more of the big name hunter in UFC.
Yeah, big name guy.
Now I'm into UFC and in terms of the main events and the big fights. But
I mean, it's definitely a big fight. So, I think Pereira will pull it off though.
Pereira, you're saying he'll pull it off?
I think Pereira will pull it off. Pereira's a really good fighter.
Again, the winner will probably get a title shot because Jamal Hill's injured.
Yeah.
Now, if Yuri's back in time, it might be against Yuri. Otherwise, Ankalev.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be like Dave versus Ankalev and winner versus Yuri after that. Who knows, right? So,
yeah.
You're going.
I'm going with Pereira. That's my prediction. Like it's not like I'm not going for anyone, because
Yeah, I don't care. Like a lot of these fights, I really don't go for anyone unless it's like Gaethje and Izzy are the two I would say I go for the most.
And the only one I really go for is Volk.
Yeah.
But
and Makhachev. Sorry, Oliveira,
yeah. And then so, but I genuinely think Pereira will pull it out.
Knockout?
I don't know.
I feel like it's gonna be knockout if it is, right? Because we saw what's his name? Jan just bully Izzy. And that's what I feel like.
Yeah, but Pereira's like bigger than Izzy. Like Pereira.
True, but
like
Izzy also knocked out Pereira.
Yeah, but Pereira's also beat Izzy 3 times as well. Once in the UFC, 2.
Yeah, let's stick with the UFC for now because that's more recent.
Yeah, I know, but like, I'm just.
But what I'm saying is, like, you could see that he has a weak chin because Alex Pereira did get hurt if it wasn't for the round ending in the first UFC fight. So I'm gonna go Jan decision. He'll just maul him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Isn't it like 3 round 2?
I'll double check quickly. It is
because it's not a title fight, right?
It's not. Yeah, I think it's gonna be because the other one, the BMF.
Those are usually 3. Those are usually 3 rounds. Yeah, BMF is technically a title fight, even though it's not really. It's just there, like it's not like Masvidal showed it off.
It doesn't say anything. I'm assuming it's 3.
I'm assuming it's 3 too.
Tony Ferguson's back. Can he finally win?
Yeah, he's been on a losing streak
ever since the whole.
Since COVID, basically.
COVID, and then he just got losing streak since then.
Boxing,
and we have a mega fight again, and I'm pissed. We're missing it, so we'll try to catch the highlights or somehow watch the fight afterwards.
Spence
Jr. finally fighting Terrence Crawford, and I'm so happy this is a 2-fight contract.
Yeah,
and I genuinely don't know where to go with this.
I don't know either. I
don't know. No clue. We watched both fighters fight at least multiple times now.
Yeah,
we both think they're easily top 5 pound for pound. Right, one we've seen knockout more than the other, which is Bud. Toss up at this point for me.
Yeah, I guess, right?
I think they're both southpaws, if I'm not mistaken. I've never seen that in a while.
Yeah. I don't know who to pick. I think
I'm a huge Terrence Crawford fan, so I'm gonna just ride with my guy Terrence Crawford. But I think I'll go decision.
I was genuinely leaning towards
Terrence Crawford.
no Errol Spence.
Or Errol Spence.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It's just something like just my gut. It's just like my gut feeling is like, all right, Errol Spence might.
Hey, we'll get a second
edge it
fight,
out.
that's for sure. So
Yeah, right. So well, maybe hopefully a trilogy fight, but it's genuinely
this could be a genuine 2-1 series type of fight. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
1-1.
yeah. If it's a fight 1-1 after a 2 contract, obviously there has to be a third fight.
Yeah.
Right. And then thank God it's finally happening, and we're probably might witness a fight of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing else. Like, I'm excited for this fight. I don't know. Like, we're not aficionados at this, so we're not gonna like go down what the strong suit is. I know Bud has more power slightly, but Spence might have more of the technique. Well, they both have technique. I'm not talking about mass, but I'm rooting for Bud, so I'm gonna stick with Bud. I think Bud decision, barely though.
Yeah, I think Spence's decision barely as well.
So it's a toss-up fight for sure. Like, I think this is the most closest boxing fight I've ever seen.
Yeah, right.
That, in the professional rankings in terms of non-influencer.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
right, like otherwise, like what Deontay Tyson ended up being one-sided a little bit, even on the third fight.
Yeah, like you'd like okay, after the first fight,
Tank,
you're like
Garcia.
Tyson Fury might be like a little bit, favored after like the draw.
Yeah.
Because Tyson Fury, if it wasn't for that last minute knockdown, Tyson Fury would have won the fight. And then
And you got Tank Garcia.
Tank
which was
Garcia,
Tank kind of dominated.
I was leaning towards Tank.
But that Tank
from the
was
beginning.
more the favorite there. Benavidez, Plant, same thing.
That Benavidez was probably
What was the fight after?
That was my probably
What
fight
was
of
the
the year.
Devin Haney and the
Yeah.
other, that was a close fight, but it wasn't supposed to be a close fight.
Oh yeah,
In people's eyes before the
Yeah,
in
Lomachenko
hindsight it was a close fight, but before the fight everybody thought Haney was gonna run over Lomachenko.
yeah, but that
And people still think
what
Lomachenko
was
got
your fight
rocked.
of the year? Is it Benavidez Plant or Lomachenko Haney?
Lomachenko Haney.
Yeah, I think
I think it went all 12 rounds, and it was like people thought the robbery happened, right?
Yeah,
So
I'll
the
go
other
with
one,
Lomo.
like Benavidez ended up taking control. That's
Yeah,
all it
he
was.
did.
That was more control fight.
Yeah,
And then
like
and then Tank Ryan just didn't.
oh, yeah, that
fight
don't
much.
even mention that one.
So yeah, I think this has the potential, but this might also be it could be one of the more boring sides, but I don't think so. I think Haney Shakur Stevenson might be more boring than this. Oh, also Teofimo Lopez fight happened.
Yeah.
Josh Taylor, but I feel like Lopez ended up dominating that a little bit
Yeah,
more.
Lopez
But it was still
clear
up. It was still
after-
decent.
Yeah, after like 5 rounds.
Yeah, I think after the 5th round, it was like all Lopez, so that's why it kind of goes down. But yeah, I think it's Lomachenko.
Yeah, I'll give
Tank.
the Lomo and Haney.
Haney, sorry.
And then
Hopefully this tops it.
I mean, if we're like going into this fight expecting like a brawl like Gaethje and Poirier, yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. This is
Hey,
gonna be.
we might see Bud come out. Remember how Terrence
Yeah.
Crawford words it?
Yeah, but-
and like how he did in the Sean Porter fight.
He's gonna have to come out.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be like, if you're like a guy who knows boxing and knows well, like you're gonna be into this fight because this is gonna be a chess game.
Yeah. Pissed off that I'm missing this fight live. But,
Same, man.
all right. Let's move on. We got some big news out of the NHL. 2 big news and 1 small news. The big news. Let's just start with the retirement, and officially the legend or future Hall of Famer. Obviously a legend probably.
Yeah, he's a legend in this game. He's
Patrice Bergeron has
future Hall of Famer.
officially retired from the NHL. I'm a little surprised just because I thought the way how the season ended in the playoffs, 3-1 comeback.
I mean, he was about to retire last year, but then he's like he
came
gave it one
back,
more
but
year.
I felt like he would have came back this year,
It
just
was kinda
because
tough.
of the way they.
I know,
ended.
but like genuinely, like
again, we don't know what they're thinking. I'm just saying my personal feeling
Yeah.
was that he might come back.
no, I think he was done.
I thought he was gonna come back for 1 more year and
It's
be
kind
like,
of like the Tom Brady thing, right? Like he gave it 1 more year and that's it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
'cause
retirement's
yeah.
never. Sometimes the retirements are always.
yeah, he
like
said he wants to
this.
spend time with his kids. So
Yeah.
I'm nothing against it for sure. I'm just saying like I just had a feeling. I was a little
Yeah,
surprised.
I didn't have that
yeah.
feeling. I wasn't surprised at all.
For me, I just that was just me personally.
But yeah, no, I mean Patrice Bergeron definitely
should be
future
named
Hall of Famer.
should be named the Patrice
is
Bergeron
sulky.
Trophy. 6 wins, 6-time winner,
He has 19
12-time finalist.
19-year season, or 19-year career. I mean, He's 6-time winner and then
12-time
12-time finalist. That's nuts.
He went 50% in the times he was a finalist too.
Yeah.
So
like from the win.
and he won it last year, which is why I'm like, oh, he still has a lot in the tank, right? And
yeah, I mean, obviously Boston is gonna have a
the
clear
one
hole.
Boston guy I didn't hate essentially.
Yeah, Patrice is Canadian.
Well, so was Marchand.
Marchand's just a dickhead in general.
That's what I'm saying. If he's a Canadian, I mean, you gotta still give Marchand
like a
that
respectable dickhead, like a guy you want on your team.
Yeah, but Bergeron, like obviously, was the one guy out of that 2011 team. He wasn't like that's where he started making his name. He wasn't like the guy like he was now. And
but like obviously, 03 draft, just generation. You have like what, the Crosby, the Ovechkin, right? The Malkins.
You know he's never made more than $7 million. I think that
as well.
I found out this morning.
And then, like Patrice Bergeron is definitely a top 5 player in this generation of players. So I mean,
probably.
Yes, it's not.
Yeah,
like,
there's no one's touching him.
Like obviously you got Crosby and Ovechkin 1 and 2.
Yeah.
He might even be 3. You could probably throw Malkin up there.
Johnathan Toews.
Taze and
Cup
Kane,
winner.
yeah, Taze and Kane.
So you could say top 10 for sure.
No, he's top 5. I'll give him top 5.
Yeah, it's an argument for sure if you want to put Taze. Because people still think Taze. People even think Kopitar is also another one.
Yeah.
But because like obviously the accomplishment wise, he one Stanley Cup is still kind of a 1 for 3 type of thing. So that isn't the greatest, and especially what happened last year wasn't the greatest. But congratulations retirement.
Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah,
as well.
But
because that comes in.
What does this mean for the Bruins? No center really, no top tier center.
They need.
Krejci's probably getting retired too. So
I mean, if it's really trying to look for a direct replacement in
you're saying Elias
Bergeron, then it's Elias Lindholm. But other than that, you're not gonna really get.
Mark Scheifele ain't gonna be it.
Mark Scheifele is gonna be good, but he ain't gonna give you what Bergeron gave you
defensively, especially.
Yeah.
Like Lindholm is still close, but not.
Lindholm is still
no Bergeron.
And no, there's no Bergeron. You're not replacing
Yeah.
Bergeron, right? Like we just mentioned, he's top 5, top 10 guaranteed player of this generation, where it had many players like Taze, the Kane, the Crosbys, the Ovechkins, right? So you can't really replace Bergeron, but the closest thing you'll get to his game is Elias Lindholm.
Yeah. Boston. Like I had a feeling they would have fallen off a little bit this year. They clearly went the opposite route. Next year, we'll wait on our.
Next year,
we'll see how they replace it. Next year has the potential of them falling off.
But next year, they're not doing this again. That's for sure.
Yeah. Moving on, major extension. No, it's not Elias Pettersson, but it's gonna be a comp because that's what everybody does here in Vancouver. Because Sebastian Aho just signed an 8-year, $78 million extension. Sebastian Aho of the Hurricanes, to be exact.
Yeah.
Not the defenseman from the Islanders.
Not the Islanders one.
He had 1 year remaining on his $8.46 million contract, which was, remember, the whole Montreal Canadian try to offer sheet him.
Yeah.
He now extended to an 8-year, $9.75 million per.
Ooh, 9.75. I mean, he's the best player on your team, right?
Yeah. Got it done early, which is good.
Yeah, it's like a deal that's like you got to play your best player, right? I mean, everything's be like some people are gonna say overpaid.
Happy birthday as well, because today was his birthday at the time of this recording.
Oh wow!
So that's why it was 26. He's 26 years old, so 8 years, 34. It will be kicked in a year after 35. Perfect amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing much. He's your best player. He needed the contract. Simple as that. There's nothing more to say about that.
It's like the Devils did it.
Now
too,
let's
right?
pull off a classic Vancouver radio. What does this mean for Elias Pettersson?
Does he get that much though? Like
he's getting more. When let me see. I don't know if I saved it. Okay, I didn't. But when I was looking on Twitter and they were comparing stats, Elias Pettersson is more of a point a game player. I think he was like 2 points off from being a point a game player. Plus, he's younger.
Yeah, that's true too.
With Aho, he's played more games and not as his ratio isn't as close as Pettersson's. Like Pettersson's literally like 2 points off from being a point per game in his career. So
PD's getting 10 mil.
PD's hit minimum getting 10.5 even, right? So I think he's not eclipsing 11, right? Pasternak's at 11 and he's slightly underpaid. People were saying like he's on a cheap contract. I think
Pasternak is
he's in between these two contracts for sure. Barzal's at 9 himself. So
yeah.
he's better than Sebastian Aho in my eyes. He's also a good two-way guy. Sebastian Aho is a good two-way guy. So this is a comp, but I think PD's getting 10.5 minimum.
Yeah.
And hopefully 8 years and none of this bullshit.
Yeah, just get him locked up, right?
Yeah.
10.5 mil. I mean, are you gonna just hope
Cap
he doesn't?
should go up next year, so that helps.
Just hope he doesn't fall off.
He'll be the first double-digit player in the Canucks.
Yeah, just hope he doesn't fall off like how he did those 2 years after the bubble.
Year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half because he did pick it up
Last year.
Second half of last season.
Yes.
So I mean, yeah, it's like obviously there's always a risk like of player fall off, but he is your best player, so you got to get him locked up, right? Same thing how the Carolina Hurricanes did. Same thing how the Devils are doing. So yeah,
Next move, small. I don't know how Carolina does this, but it's Carolina. Tony DeAngelo goes back to Carolina for a 1 year minimum. Like, no,
yeah.
by minimum I mean like 1.15 or something.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that. They were supposed to trade for him, ended up getting him for nothing. So
I mean, yeah,
I don't know how Carolina does this, but they do it. So it works
you just
out.
find a way to get defensemen.
Yeah. All right. Soccer. Let's start off with the Women's World Cup. I think that's the biggest stories that are happening right now. We got up at 5 a.m. for the first half. We're like, why the hell did we get up at 5 a.m.? Even though I kind of needed to wake up anyways. But
And then you got the second half.
the second half. So Canada Soccer, the women's team did win 2-1.
Against
After letting
Ireland.
go of something I learned today, the Olympico. I did learn it, I swear. Olympico goal, which is directly off a corner kick.
Myself.
Directly off a corner kick by, what's her name? The Ireland
Katie
girl?
McCabe.
Katie McCabe, yeah. And she was probably the best player on the field. I don't
She
care.
won man of the match.
Yeah,
or
she
woman
probably
of the match.
Yeah. Ireland got up early, and then after that, Julia Grosso cross led to an own goal. After the second half, they subbed in the vets, and they carried. The old timers carried.
Sinclair for Vienne. Schmidt for Grosso, which has surprised me a little
But
bit. But
made sense.
it's worked out.
Physicality, that's why.
Yeah, and then
Schmidt.
Zadorsky for Buchanan
Because of the injury.
illness
But,
and injury.
yeah, Schmidt assisted the game winner. So
Yeah, Schmidt assisted Leon, who I thought should have been off
yeah.
at halftime for Chloe Lacoste, who came
killed it
on
herself,
and
so.
absolutely was probably the best player.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem with this game compared to Ireland the Nigeria game, they just didn't do good in the final third. This game they just, at least for the first 30 minutes, they did not want it.
They didn't do good in general.
Yeah, like they did not want their passing accuracy was off. They did not
5-yard
want it.
balls, yeah. You allow a goal from a corner kick, right? 50-50 balls. Midfield was getting absolutely destroyed. And Ireland's physicality was really destroying you. Ireland was running more.
That's what it was.
Ireland was running more.
And then second half, obviously, I don't know if Bev just yelled at him or Sinclair yelled at him or whatever the case may be.
I mean,
It was a whole different game to the point where people are like, if they just play like this, they have a chance to win it all.
Yeah, genuinely.
The second half team has a chance to win it all.
They
And
do.
that's even with slight struggles here and there too.
Right,
So-
the finishing was terrible still.
Yeah.
And but they were able to produce chances, right? Sinclair had 2 clear-cut chances.
Jordan
Still
Heidemann
looking
had a
for
cracker chance at herself.
Still looking for her 6th
Goal in her 6th World Cup.
goal in her 6th World Cup, and she scored in all 5 that she's been in
Yeah.
so far. So, and yeah, Heidemann missed a chance. Fleming definitely
Made a difference. At first, it was like, okay, well, there was no difference.
right,
Because-
but then
you
after
after
can you really blame her because everyone was
true, but after like the 35th, around the 35th minute mark is like after that corner kick.
yeah Fleming made
Essentially, after that corner kick is when we
It's
saw
when
Jesse Fleming beat Jesse Fleming.
Yeah, Fleming put a good ball in. Buchanan flipped it off, and then Gio missed a grade A chance,
Yeah.
basically hitting it over the bar.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, from that point, Fleming started making a difference
So-
and showed why she was the best player on this team.
By the
basically.
time this pod comes out, Australia results should be out, but that game's at 3 a.m. and right now it's currently 11 p.m. on the Wednesday night. So as of right now, Canada's looking good to qualify, but we need to finish first to avoid England most likely.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right now, Denmark's first, but it's only because they both played the same amount of games and they both I think won 1-0. So,
So, yeah.
the other results surprising, a little bit of an upset. USA,
Yeah,
their
they drew.
13 game unbeaten streak of not
they're still
trailing.
unbeaten.
Sorry, 13 game.
Win streak.
No, being up at half or being up like
They never trailed at half.
No, just in general they never trailed.
Oh, okay.
They're 13 games, so that means probably win streak.
Yeah, so it was a win streak.
But no, they never trailed, so it could be a draw. It could have been, if they're up 1-0, they could still.
Yeah, okay.
But 13 game non-leading, always leading is ended because they were down 1-0.
Like
And
15 minutes.
And
World Cup final rematch, by the way, as
yeah,
well.
from the last one, right?
Yeah,
2019.
2019, yeah.
So Netherlands came out. Obviously, I watched the second half. You watched more of the first half, and there was all USA. It was literally all USA.
Yeah,
you know, Dennis Rodman's daughter Trinity Rodman was playing, and she did pretty well.
Yeah, right. I was like,
They're obviously missing Mallory Pugh because she obviously is injured, but one U.S. score, Netherlands had a few chances to put it away as well. So
yeah, Netherlands were good in the first half. Obviously, playing the U.S., you can go a little bit defensive in the second half, and USA didn't really go all out until until they scored basically.
Yeah, no other upsets really happened since the last pod. Like Germany handled business, Brazil handled business. New Zealand, the host, did lose to Philippines. I'm not sure how good each of those teams really are.
New Zealand did win the first game.
Yeah. First ever, too, in general, I think, their win. France, Jamaica, we mentioned was 0-0, but we already talked about that, I believe.
Yeah, that's one of the surprising results.
Yeah, so Spain handled their business today. Canada handled business today.
But yeah, so
and U.S. tied Netherlands. So
three, kind of like now when you watch that Netherlands-US game, you're like, okay, it could be a little bit open because obviously U.S. is still the favorites, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like Netherlands show why they could win. Canada's second half, Ireland could show why they could win.
And listen, Canada's probably the best defensive team there, right? So the goal they allowed was directly from a corner kick into the net. It wasn't like they were bad marking or anything. It was like that was on the goalie mainly.
Yeah, it was mainly on the goalie. And then Sweden, didn't have their greatest first performance, but like first game. But they're definitely a top 5 nation.
Okay, well, not any more fun fact because the Netherlands game happened. But at the point of the Canada game, Canada, Sweden, Ireland, and who does Sweden play? South Africa.
Yeah.
Now you could throw in USA and Netherlands are the only teams to score, like each team to score.
Like only game where both teams scored.
Yeah, like there was no shutout, right?
There's no clean sheets, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then Sweden and Canada are the only ones to come back and win. The USA could have had that opportunity, but blew it. So,
But like this, it generally feels a little bit open now.
Yeah.
Like
because like USA is facing a lot of injuries, older players, right? So
I mean, if USA finish second in the group, they're gonna have to go through some tough teams, right?
Yeah.
Right, especially if everyone else handles business. So we'll see what happens with that as well.
All right, we'll move on now to the Canada men's national team. Just a FYI, me and you are working on something behind the scenes to get something done for the next, not the next, but the pod after, where we'll related to the Canada side of things. So we're gonna briefly talk about it now, and hopefully, if everything works out, we are able to talk more in detail. But
this will probably be next Thursdays, right?
Next Thursday's pod, most likely, if everything works out. Okay. We're gonna just briefly go over the men's national team. Obviously Canada Soccer's in shambles, like we all know. We've mentioned it many times. We've been vocal for Canada Soccer. We made its own video as well. Like we clipped a video from our pod and put it on YouTube, so make sure you guys check that out as well. They have sent cease and desist letters to CSB and the sponsors saying stop making money off our name, image, and likeness. Nil, like college.
The player sent that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying that a lot of this is also because the Women's World Cup is going on, so they're trying to make like unfair deals still. I'm not sure. The women have agreed to a temporary deal for the World Cup only, so we don't know what that deal is still and how good it is, and will they actually get paid or not. I mean, the other thing is the players haven't been paid out. That's why they're doing this. I haven't read the full statement.
I mean, one comment on the women's thing, it might be like, pride might come in the way because, like, it's a World Cup, right?
Exactly.
And then, like, we'll just settle for this tournament, but, like, we're going to get back to business.
This was done by Rick
after the World Cup.
Rick Westhead of TSN, who always comes down. He's the same guy that came up with the Kyle Beach story with the Chicago Blackhawks. He usually goes into all this legal side of things a lot.
Yeah.
Good guy. Check out his work.
Genuine good. Like, he does great work. Which has failed for the past year to reach a collective labor agreement with Canada Soccer. They said it's demanding that sponsors of the federation and the private company CSB stop using the name, image, and likeness of men's national team players in their marketing and advertising. So the Alonso Davies shirt I have, essentially they want them to stop like selling that or whatever the case may be, so you can make they don't profit off of them. Yeah, they don't profit off their name,
so
image, right?
Pretty much college football all over again at this point. Instead of working toward a solution, given the current state of Canada Soccer, we have been taking a task to raise these concerns, and we have an inflated view of ourselves Canada Soccer is also now attempting to capitalize on the pressure of the Women's World Cup to force us into an inadequate deal. You can see the whole article somewhere online. I know you could just type in Canada Men's Soccer Players Association, and you could read the whole thing there. It's such a weird situation because from what I read, the CSB is also the big reason why a World Cup is happening because they need the funding, right? And those of you guys that think that One Soccer is shit, blah, 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 you can't blame One Soccer because it's on TSN and Sportsnet because they did not want to showcase Canada, right? And now maybe rightfully so at that time, but signing a 20-year deal is insane to me.
Yeah,
right?
signing a 20-year deal.
One Soccer has done a great job. It sucks that it's like a side purchase you have to make to watch it. But it's not One Soccer's fault in this case. Like you can't.
Yeah, right. Like
just because I understand, like we get frustrated because like, oh, it's on One Soccer, we have to try to watch it.
Try to
right?
find a game, right?
But at the same time, we also understand it's not their fault. So
yeah, right. I mean, like, there's like, thing was like Fox Sports in the U.S. right, U.S. networks, they showcase right the U17 men's U17 World Cup qualifiers,
the one
right?
that our cousin was on.
Yeah, and then they also shown U.S. games like on TV, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like Sportsnet is showing poker games.
The only time Sportsnet or TSN showcased games was with the World Cup qualifiers, the World Cup itself, and probably the Olympics. Which again, those are separate deals as well, not strictly.
Yeah, right.
Soccer. But the World Cup qualifiers were technically on One Soccer. They got permission.
I know, but like
to
like the Olympics.
Yeah.
Are on TSN no matter. It's not just
CTV
soccer,
or
like
TSN,
Olympics. Or on TSN, CTV.
Or CTV, yeah.
And then
or
Sportsnet.
CBC, sorry. But yeah.
And then on Sportsnet, right? Like Sportsnet they don't play Canada games in general. Like if it's nothing after it, right? Like TSN.
Here's the thing.
TSN plays the World Cup all the time.
The problem is, again,
there's no difference.
I don't blame One Soccer because they have to have One Soccer's permission, and One Soccer probably didn't give the permission. I don't blame One Soccer because then why would they give permission if they're the only exclusive rights to watch it, right? They gave permission for the qualifiers, which is fair, but like for the Nations League and all that, why would One Soccer give it up? Because they signed a deal, right? They want people to come and tune in, otherwise who's gonna watch it? So that's the thing with that. Yeah, I don't know too much into it. Well, like I said, we're trying to get something done to figure out more into it, and we'll update you guys more as time goes on.
Yeah, it just sucks because, like, you know, as soccer fans, we're finally witnessing the men's and women's team, or we're becoming those nations where, like, we have a good men's and women's program now, like a good team, right? Field a team that could actually, you know, where women's side contend for the World Cup, men's side, you know, consistently make the World Cup. So just not being able to see like those games, those friendlies, right? Those CONCACAF Nations League games, it just like it sucks because like Sportsnet, TSN are like what dominate Canada, in the sports network.
So yeah, we'll look more into it and try to update you guys next pod or the pod after that for sure. Those of you that actually care about the Canada Soccer, we care, so we're gonna present it no matter what.
Yeah.
Before we get into the final couple things here with soccer, Leo Messi, 2 goals once again.
Just the goal.
It makes no sense to me how Sergio Busquets has time on the ball, looks up, ball looks up. I think it was on Peter Galindo's. He retweeted it. That's where I saw like he must be looking up and like, oh wow, I have time. Okay, click it through. Messi gets the first goal off the post, rebound, scores. Second one, I forgot who assisted it. The guy who assisted
Robert Taylor.
Yeah. And he's probably loving life now because he's playing with Leo Messi.
He also got 2 goals and assists that game.
Exactly. So he's loving life because everybody's paying attention to Leo Messi. He's in the open. So.
And then he's like, everyone's like, oh, this Messi turned this guy to Rob Lewandowski.
It sucks that Ronaldo and Messi both could still play in Europe, probably, especially Messi. Yeah. And an unfortunate situation, but
like no, like God, like what a way to start off, right?
Yeah.
Just to go, just felt like Busquets is probably playing like, you know, backyard with his kids or something. The amount of time he has.
All right, Jobin, question for you: if Saudi Arabia wanted to buy you out, assuming BTR became some big thing, they offered me a release fee to get you to Saudi, pay you $700 million. Would you reject it or would you accept it for 1 year, and then you're allowed to come back after the year?
Do I leave you?
You leave me for a year, but you come back.
I mean, like, here's the thing. You would accept it for me.
Exactly.
You would accept it for me.
So but in this case, you would have rejected
I will
it.
come back with $700 million to like, you know, upgrade this so we could get out of the living room.
Yeah. No, but so why I asked that question is Kylian Mbappe was. What's crazier, that he was offered that by Al Hilal from Saudi, or he rejected it?
Oh, it's offering. Rejecting. Mbappe will make bank no matter what happens, right?
But so $700 million for a year.
no,
I know it's easy for us to say because we'll never look at that money,
thing,
right?
Like
I want to say we'll never look at that money.
You're getting compared to Holland, right? Like you and Holland are gonna be like the next.
You're supposed to be the next Messi and Ronaldo.
Messi versus Ronaldo rivalry, right?
Not to that extent,
it's kinda,
but yeah.
I know it's not gonna be. Nothing's gonna reach to that
exactly.
extent, but the fact that like your rival, right? You're obviously, you know, the guy you're competing with to be the best player in the world, just won a treble in the Premier League, which is one of the toughest leagues out there, while you're in the shitty League One, where you're not even ranked top 5 in the competitive leagues anymore. They're like, what, 7th? And then you go off to Saudi for a year?
Yeah.
It's not going to be... It's going to be like kind of tarnish your legacy, right? Like
a little bit, yeah.
So...
PSG believes
like
that...
It's a different story. It's a different story if you're going from like PSG, Real Madrid, right?
So I'm alluding to that. PSG believe that the reason why he didn't accept it, because keep in mind, PSG was offered $300 million transfer fee, which will obviously break Neymar's record.
Yeah,
that PSG was bought Neymar for.
It was gonna be a total like 1.1 billion purchase.
Yeah, I think the salary was like 200 something million, but with like not incentives, but like like the commercial rights and all that became 700 million.
It was so massive that like LeBron, Draymond, and Damian Lillard wanted to go to a Saudi basketball league or something.
Not even that. Giannis said he looks like Mbappe, so please sign me.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah,
that was jokes. Giannis is like the funniest guy. He's like, bruh, just let me go in, right? You got like people saying like, oh, the memes on Twitter and stuff. My kid is just born. Screw hugging your mom. Get on the soccer pitch right now.
Yeah, there's this one I saw on Instagram where like I think it's on the SportsCenter page where like the guy is teaching his son basketball moves, and then turns around, sees the news, instantly throws away the hoop,
blocks his shot,
right?
Go kick a ball.
Go kick a ball right now.
Yeah. So, so Mbappe rejected it. Like you said, I agree with everything you said. It's a legacy move. I personally, if I was Mbappe, would have taken it because it's just 1 year. If it was 2 or 3 years, then I would have been like, yeah, leave it. But like you said, he's gonna make money no matter what.
If it was 1 year.
That's why I love what Aaron Rodgers did, because at the end of the day, like we're hoping to hit big money based for what we're doing here, but at the moment we're not, right? So like for us, it's like easy to say, but yeah, no, it is what it is. It's kind of funny though, but he rejected Saudi, and then PSG believe that he already has a pre-agreement under the table with Real Madrid. That's why he doesn't want to leave, because obviously PSG want to sell him, and 300 million is a shit ton of money. So yeah, that would have helped them do some stuff. Any other signings that happened? Sabitzer jumped ship from Bayern to Dortmund. I don't know what rivals do this all the time other than Bayern and Dortmund.
Yeah, right. Like Homo's going there and back. Götze going there and back.
Lewandowski. Royce is like the only one.
Royce is the only one that stayed, right? That's why everyone loves Royce.
Yeah, so let me check. We're about to close off, but let me just check if there's any other signings that happened. From the United side of things, what do you think of Sofian Amrabat? And
that's big. I like
and Højlund, but you don't know much of Højlund.
I don't know much of Højlund.
Young striker, which is like
I want a striker.
I know you said that you're not a fan of the transfer window so far. I am kind of, especially these two deals go down.
These two go
still need more depth, and we still have the shitty owners in. But
if we get these two, then I'll definitely be like,
because we might be selling Fred and McTominay and maybe Maguire.
Because like you didn't really address your full need right now, which was striker.
Here's the thing: Onana let 2 goals in, or one. I don't know if he played the whole game, but for sure 1 goal in that got chipped by Jude Bellingham. So, but his passing and all that was good. So who knows, right?
Yeah, but your goal you gotta save first. That's what I'm always gonna say. And then Amrabat, I would definitely love to have Amrabat, for sure. Especially what he did in the World Cup was absolutely insane.
Yeah, the long balls there,
and the energy and just the ball retrieval, It was a great dribble. The one thing Amrabat did well in the World Cup was dribbling out of pressure as well. That was like to break the high press of the other teams.
Yeah.
Whoever he faced, he did that really well. I remember he did that in the Portugal game a few times, which really helped them just relieve that pressure because they were up 1-0. And then obviously when you're up 1-0 against Portugal, you're going to be defending a whole lot.
Yeah. Let me just quickly find, where's Fabrizio Romano? He's the one that tweets the most. David Ornstein, Romuald Lavia is linked to Liverpool.
Yeah.
So if we're getting keep in mind, Rasmus Højlund rejected PSG's substantial wage offer, wants to come to United.
Okay.
Sofian Amrabat rejected Liverpool supposedly, and wants United.
Chill, right? Because we lost Gakpo.
So get it fucking done fast.
Yeah, we lost Gakpo to Liverpool, right? And Gakpo wanted to come here. So get it done.
Obviously, what's his name? Henderson. This is the one. Marco Verratti is close. So I guess they couldn't get Mbappe, so let's get Marco Verratti. Not for 700 million.
Okay,
but
yeah.
30 million, which is... Sorry. The PSG wants 100 million for Verratti. Al Hilal offered 30 mil for transfer fee. I don't know what the wages are, though.
Okay.
Olivier Giroud rejected Saudi.
Olivier Giroud's still going.
Mbappe will not even entertain negotiating with that team as well.
Yeah, I mean...
So that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing really else.
I mean, you ain't winning a Champions League with a Saudi league. Right?
No.
Exactly.
But then, hey, if Mbappe goes there, who knows what could... Everybody might just follow ship. You think that since they rejected Mbappe, they're going to go after Haaland just for the sake of it now?
No way.
No, I'm not saying Haaland's going. I'm saying they're going to just, like... they're not going to... They wanted Mbappe. What makes you not think they're not going to offer...
They're wasting their time.
True, but they don't care for shit. So that's what I'm saying.
No, that's just a waste of time.
But so no. My question to you isn't the waste of time. My question is, do you think they'll just call City up?
No, because Mbappe was genuinely...
I genuinely will not be surprised if they do.
I will be surprised because, what the hell is your sense at this rate?
Money.
Huh?
That's all.
Well, money. You're giving away money. You're not getting money.
Lautaro Martinez hates Lukaku, by the way. Kind of. He's like, yeah, he never picked on my call. I'm disappointed because of the whole drama that I mentioned last week.
Yeah.
That,
Lukaku's snake. All right, nothing else?
Nothing else, really. So,
all right, so let's close it out then.
Let's close it out. It's been a good long pod, but thank you, sports gods, for blessing us. So, and hopefully you guys all enjoyed this. Jovin's early rant was great, so make sure, just for that alone, like it. About like Ohtani. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our audio platforms. Download the podcast there. If you enjoy it, give us a 5-star rating. Review it. And follow our socials. Instagram, TikTok, even our Twitter. Some updates go on there. Our YouTube shorts. Make sure you guys follow everywhere because we post every day. Right? Yeah, I don't think we missed a day for a while. So the shorts, they will always be up. There'll be clips. There'll be challenges. So make sure you guys check that. Those are not usually on the pod, minus the clips, the clip segments. But other than that, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.